I really can't speak before Grand Chief Stewart.
That's our host. I'm here representing Rhonda Larrabee, the Chief of the New Westminster Band, and I welcome you all, Hosiem. And Rhonda sends her regrets for not being able to be here, but she's very happy that you did come. She's very welcoming that you are here and very supportive of the journey and the message you're sending. It's very important. The salmon are sacred to these people for generation upon generation, and we don't want to see them gone for their granddaughters, my granddaughters. I do not want to see this happen. Chief?
Thank you everybody for being here. First of all, I'd like to thank the Westminister First Nations for welcoming us here. And I'm very honored to be a part of the wild salmon people. I'm also very honored to be a part of this wild salmon journey. I am Marilyn Baptista, Chief of the Honeywood-Ean, one of the 6 Suckle-Ean communities in the interior of BC, west of Williams Lake. We are at the headwaters of the Tesico and the Choco sockeye run, which is, they say, one of the healthiest of all our wild sockeye runs up the river. And the reason why I did not hesitate to join the journey here, of course, our wild sockeye is part of our way of life, part of our being, and is also, of course, a part of our Aboriginal rights. And we are facing a threat of draining fish lake, which is directly above the headwaters of the Tesico River. And they're proposing a prosperity mine in that area and will destroy our wild salmon, our way of life, and our Aboriginal rights. And we continue our fight. The Tattooing people have been fighting since before 1864. Our war leaders stopped the road crew from coming in on the southwest side of the Tattooing territory and Butte Inlet. They were after gold back then. Again, they are after gold today. And our warriors back then, our people, knew that if they allowed them to come into our territory after gold, it would destroy our waters, our wild salmon, and our future generations. If it were not for them, we would not be here today. So I'm very honored to be here. I'm very, very honored to be able to be out on this river and connecting even more so to the wild salmon. And I thank you for your support. Thank everybody for their continued support. Very honored to be a part of the protocols coming into the different territories. It's very important and very, very honored to be a part of the drums all the way down the Fraser River and the songs. And I just also, I just want to mention that I have my youth with me, Marie, my niece, as well. I have one of our spiritual leaders, my elder, Gilbert Solomon, one of my drummers and singers. So I thank you for having me. Woo-hoo!
White, East Station. My English name is Joan Phillips. I'm one of the council members for the Canadian Band. I'm originally from Tsleil-Waututh, and I just want to say 90% of our diet was marine protein, and it's not something you just eat on Friday. I want to thank the Westminster First Nation for allowing us to stage here. It's so important that we protect this for our future generations. For the first time since 1938 within the Okanagan, we had salmon. We were fishing at Oakley Falls, and the only thing that prevented it from going that far was a dam, a very small dam. And we had to have a little kind of a canning down by the river to accommodate the amount of canning and the fishing that was taking place on the river. And it was such an awesome sight, and I just can't imagine not having salmon in our lives. But,
Why Haskahal, Pisinaksil, and Chaya Squeeze, Asiut. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the New Westminster First Nation and would like to express my gratitude for your gracious welcome and for your willingness to host this very important gathering. And I would like to convey my gratitude and my deep respect for all of the paddlers that have participated in this journey throughout the last several days. I know that Alexandra Morton and various leaders have traveled throughout the interior to bring this vital and important message to many, many communities. And as we stand here together, literally shoulder to shoulder, I can't help but reflect on what's behind us, the ripple effect. Because that's exactly and precisely what's happening here. At long last, our elected political leaders, both federally and provincially, our Indigenous leaders, our grassroots people, our spiritual leaders, our elders, are at long last coming together to protect one of the most precious gifts that we have in this part of Turtle Island. And of course, that's the wild salmon. And I really honor all of you for having the courage of your convictions and the deep commitment to day after day after day meet the challenges and make the sacrifices that you have made to play a part in this very important journey, to convey this message to the general public, to governments, both federally and provincially, internationally. It takes a long time to build a movement. And I reflect back on the 60s and the 70s, where there was tremendous movements throughout North America, political movements, social consciousness, and I really miss those days. But I'm just so encouraged to know and understand that spirit is reawakening in all of us. This is not an Indigenous issue alone. This is an issue for all of humanity to understand, as Joan has said, how precious this resource is. It's a gift from our Creator that Indigenous people have honored and celebrated since the beginning of time. And all of us have, in some small way, allowed governments and industry to jeopardize this precious resource, and now we're reclaiming our voice, and we're coming together. I had the honor, Joan and I have been together for over 30 years now, 33. And it was the Indian movement that brought us together, that sense of responsibility for our children and grandchildren. That's what sustained our relationship, and that's what brings all of us together. I have so much respect for you, Alexandra, and the countless hours that you put into this issue. And I encourage you to continue your vision and your voice. It's so critically important to wild salmon. And I believe that the awareness that did not exist a few years ago is beginning to arise. And this is beginning to attract a great deal of attention, as it will tomorrow. There are certain things that we can all do as ordinary people, and as mundane as it may sound, those little postcards are important. To go home and sign them and throw them in the nearest mailbox to get that voice out there. Because governments always tell us, well, we don't hear any chatter out there. This is not of real interest to the general public. So I once again commend all of you for all of the good work that you've